So we all know for the most part wrestlers are not confined to or stuck in one promotion at all times. Today we got a video that is 10 ECW wrestlers WCW totally wasted. I'm hanging out with the flock live on Twitch, but if you guys would like to support the original creator of the content without us reacting all over it, go ahead and click the top link in the description. You know how to find the Twitch link to hang out with us live. I've got a Patreon with bonus content that I can't post on YouTube because it's too spicy and I might get spanked if I post it. No ghost boobies there. The content is free. Either way, let's get right into the video.
ECW was all about attitude, chaos, and letting wrestlers do whatever they wanted. But WCW never understood that, and these wrestlers paid the price. Here are 10 ECW wrestlers that WCW totally wasted. At number 10, enter the Sandman. ECW turned this beer-soaked brawler into one of wrestling's most unlikely icons.
Bro, he looks so different every time I see him. Like, he has never looked the same in any two appearances I've seen the same. What the fuck?
His entrance was legendary as he walked through the crowd to enter Sandman, smashing beer cans on his head with a cigarette in his mouth. His rivalry with Raven became one of ECW's most violent and personal feuds, complete with the infamous crucifixion angle that caused a massive amount of backlash. The Land of the Extreme was the only place that could present a character like the Sandman, which explains why he failed so badly in WCW. He was renamed Hack and dropped into their new hardcore division. Yes, he had lots of weapons, but none of the charm. WCW took one of ECW's most unforgettable characters and turned him into a nobody. At number 9, it's wrestling legend Terry Funk. And he wasn't just a legend in ECW, he was the heart and soul of the company. He lived and breathed ECW, and he embodied its values of working hard and pushing everything
Terry
to the
was
limit.
A wild man.
Terry Funk was the company's backbone, and he literally dragged himself through barbed wire to put the company on the map. Then WCW signed him in the year 2000, and he just wasn't the same. They did give him plenty of stuff to do. He became the commissioner, and he held the hardcore title several times, but it was all so forgettable. WCW was in terminal decline at the time, and nothing on the show really mattered. Even a legend like Terry Funk couldn't save the company. Sliding into the ring at number 8, it's the homicidal, genocidal maniac, Sabu. By the mid-90s, Sabu was already a sensation in ECW. He was a high-flying nutcase who treated
Dude, Sabu gives me fucking anxiety every time I see him. Like, every time I see him. I don't know if he's gonna do something right or fuck himself up. Every time I see this man, I'm like, okay. It's
wrestling matches like demolition derbies. Sabu was pure chaos. Then WCW signed him to a contract, and they had absolutely no idea how to present him. He beat Alex Wright in his debut match on Nitro, and then he put him through a table. So they reversed the decision and said that he was disqualified instead. It's like they didn't understand what made Sabu so special. He only wrestled a handful of short matches for the company, and then he went back to ECW, where he became a hardcore legend. Chris Candido is at number 7 in our list. In the WWF, he was Skip from the Body Donners alongside his real-life girlfriend Sunny.
Sunny got them sizable drunk. Sunny was so pretty for even back then. Time was not kind to Sunny. Well, Sunny wasn't kind to Sunny. Let's say that. Like, jeez.
While she went on to become one of the most recognisable stars of the new generation era, Candido ended up getting stuck in her shadow. But in ECW, everything changed. He rebuilt his reputation by surprising everyone with how damn good he was in the ring. His whole ethos in ECW was that he didn't need any gimmicks, and for a while he was having the best matches on the card. Then he showed up in WCW, and it was a total
That was pretty, dude. That
WCW
was pretty.
was that he didn't need any gimmicks, and for a while he was having the best matches on the card. Then he showed up in WCW, and it was a totally different story. It felt like he was going through the motions. He did win the Cruiserweight title at Spring Stampede 2000, but by this point, all of the championships in WCW had been totally devalued. Candido found his identity in ECW, but WCW just took it all away. At number 6 in our countdown, it's the franchise of ECW, Shane Douglas. He was one of ECW's first true main event heels, and when he threw down the NWA title in 1994, it set the tone for everything the promotion would go on to become. As the franchise, Douglas became the most hated man in the company, as he held the world title
got a heel
for a
face.
record 406 days. Even by ECW standards, he was brash and arrogant, and he was constantly running his mouth. Then WCW picked him up in 2000, and it was the same old story. The promotion was in absolute chaos at the time. The titles meant nothing, storylines fell apart week to week, and nobody could build up any momentum. He did win the US title and briefly held the tag team titles with Buff Bagwell, but none of it meant anything. In ECW, he was the franchise, but in WCW, he was a nobody. Chris Jericho is at number 5 in our countdown. His time in ECW was short, but it meant
really?
a lot to him. He came into the company in 1996 and
Yo, Chris Jericho was like a whore for the promotions, man. That man was wrestling everywhere, wrestling. You will find him wrestling. He's got a run in every promotion ever. I want to be like him when I grow up. I'm going to be in all your algorithms, no matter where you go. I'm going to be all over that social media, like white on rice. You can't escape me, unless you go to Twitter. Fuck Twitter. Twitter sucks ass. And balls.
racked up fast-paced matches against the likes of Taz, Sabu and Cactus Jack, and he even held the television title. It was his first real spotlight in the United States, and the fans immediately took...
Yo, Jamaican Chris Jericho, I'm definitely going to generate that with AI. Pray for me, bro. I'm about to be on a... He knows what I'm going to do. Look at his face. He knows what
to him. He had undeniable charisma, and it didn't take long for WCW to come calling. And that's where things got messy. Jericho was a brilliant mid-card heel in WCW. He was absolutely hilarious, and he continued to be one of the best wrestlers in the world. They did give him reigns as the Cruiserweight and TV champion, but behind the scenes, he wasn't happy. Jericho has always described his time in WCW as one of the most frustrating periods of his entire career. He wanted to be more than just a cruiserweight or comedy character, but he got stuck under WCW's notorious glass ceiling. He pitched a feud with
they
Goldberg
definitely wouldn't have let him go
that
crazy.
got shot down by the man himself,
the
which was the
NWO
final
like that.
straw for Jericho. He knew he had the talent and the creativity to be a main event superstar, but WCW just didn't see it. So he left and proved it in the WWF instead. The Gladiator Mike Awesome comes crashing onto our list at number 4. And in ECW, he looked like the future of the wrestling business. He was a 6'7" monster of a man who flew like a cruiserweight and brawled like an animal. Awesome was the last great ECW World Champion before the company went under, and he carried himself like a champion too. He got off to a promising start in WCW, where he debuted by attacking Kevin Nash and becoming known as the Career Killer, but it wasn't long before things headed south. WCW's booker at the time was Vince Russo, and for some reason he didn't like Mike Awesome, and in a matter of months he went from the Career Killer to the Fat Chick Thriller, feeding women burgers at ringside. Then he was repackaged as
That's not crazy though, for him to be over there feeding bitches burgers. Come on now. Yeah, he want one. He hungry. He looking out. He want one.
70s guy. It was an embarrassing year for the big man. WCW had taken one of the most exciting wrestlers in the world and turned him into a bad joke. At number 3, it's the ultimate underdog, Mikey Whipwreck. Here was a kid who was never meant to succeed, and that's exactly what made him great in ECW. Whipwreck started as a member of the ring crew and then got thrown into matches as a human punching bag, and that somehow turned him into one of the most beloved underdogs in wrestling history. He was timid and outmatched and always on the verge of being absolutely beaten to death, until he pulled off another miracle win. In the end, he won the TV title, the tag titles, and even the world title, not because he looked the part, but because the fans believed in him. Then he went to WCW, and all of that magic was stripped away. They tossed him into the cruiserweight division with zero character and never explained his backstory. He was basically just another average-looking dude. And it's because the backstory is what made him so special in ECW.
I wonder what the point of signing all these guys was, if they were just gonna, like let them fizzle out and get cooked. I feel like these are like the same issues that you see people talking about with like AEW sometimes, where it's like they sign a bunch of guys from another promotion and it's like they don't have anything to do with them. I wonder when this video was made. Like, it's a case of history kind of repeating itself. I don't know. I don't know shit about AEW. Don't come defending that shit in my comments. I mean, you can if you want to. I don't know what the fuck going on.
CW. He lost most of his matches and he was gone within months. Without Paul Heyman's storytelling, Mikey wasn't a miracle. He was just some guy in WCW. The Public Enemy is number 2 on our list, and for the first half of ECW's existence, no tag team was more important than Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge. They had incredible, violent matches with the gangsters and the pitbulls, and they got some of the wildest crowd reactions the company had ever seen. Then WCW signed them in 1996 and immediately missed the point. They were dropped into the tag team division without any of the energy or the freedom that made them so special in the land of the extreme. They were actually in WCW for over 2.5 years, and they did win the tag team titles once, but it was totally forgettable. In the end, ECW was the peak of the Public Enemy's powers, and WCW never came close to copying it. And number 1 in our list of ECW wrestlers that WCW totally wasted, it's Bam Bam Bigelow. For years, the big man was misused by the WWF, but ECW felt like home to Bam Bam. He was a killer big man with agility that shouldn't have been possible for someone his size. In ECW, Paul Heyman knew exactly how to use him. He joined the Triple Threat, which was the company's greatest faction, and he soon captured the ECW World title. Then WCW signed him to a contract and promised to make him a main event superstar. He debuted by attacking Goldberg, and that should have launched his first big main event feud. But lots of promises were being broken in WCW at the time, and the usual suspects were holding down the main event scene, so he never properly got elevated. He was shuffled down the card and eventually thrown into the hardcore division. It was a sad end to a career that was full of unrecognised potential. So there you have it, that's my list.
There you go. There was a whole lot of dick grabbing. There was a whole lot of dick grabbing in that last spot. DJ X, thank you for the Bennington.
It was full of unrecognised potential. So there you have.
Why did he grab his dick like 6 times? You got a handful of cock like 6 times.
Have it. That's my list. If you want more top 10 videos, then I've got a playlist full of them on the screen right now.
I like Disguise. Stunned by Wrestling. Awesome. Great content. If you guys like to check out the original uploaded content, go ahead and click that top link in the description. You know where to find that. It's at the top of the description. If you're gonna hang out with me in the flock live on Twitch, React to Things Live, you know where to find that link. It's at the bottom. We got a Patreon with bonus content that I can't upload to YouTube. Honestly, I think it's a thing where a wrestling promotion will see stars from another promotion, and then I guess it's like, oh, we gotta bury them. We gotta lower their value before they go anywhere else. We'll like sign them for less than their worth and then fucking throw them out there to the wolves. Now you're out there wrestling nobodies. Now you're jobbing to our guy. We're gonna feed you to Goldberg. You're gonna die to Goldberg now. Now you're a comedy actor. I think we've seen it with WWE sometimes too, right? Where Vince is just being a dick face. Yeah. Said John Wisely. I
Wanna
wouldn't
do
be
it again?
surprised. It'd be like that. Anywho, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video if we both make it there. I know I'm gonna be there. If you're not, guess what? I'm taking your ankles. Thank you so much to those of you that have made it over to the Patreon. I appreciate you.
I'm still hungry.